loss.
Sure, but look, I'm not saying I can't run the race, or I'm not telling you, right? What am I saying? See if you can say what my idea is.
All
Like,
right,
what do you think my idea is?
that's where I'm trying. I'm trying to. You're still coming back to the fact that you are feeling the effect of Adam's sin.
Yes, I am saying that. What am I saying about that? What's my point
And
about
you're
that?
so you're saying it's unfair that you're feeling that effect.
Why am I saying that? What's my reasoning for that?
Well, that's a good question. Why are you saying that's unfair?
So you don't understand that bit of you don't understand why I'm
Well,
saying
well,
that.
I've been in a chain reaction car accident. It wasn't fair that I got hit,
Hmm.
but
Of course.
I felt the effect of that wreck.
Okay.
Um, and so I can say that there was, it was the but the and while it was unfair that I felt that. I nonetheless felt that effect. Me feeling that effect has nothing to do with whether it is fair or not.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think I'm saying if it's unfair, then it could, like, if it was unfair, then you wouldn't feel the effect?
That's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm going. You're saying it's unfair that I'm suffering an effect of an action that someone else has committed.
Yeah. So I am saying, obviously, that it's unfair, and it is unfair that you were in a car crash that wasn't your fault. You didn't cause that car crash. It's not like you deserved it. It's bad luck, right? You didn't. It's unfair, and I feel sorry for you. I mean, like, I don't know how serious it was. I don't even know you in any way, but I feel bad for you if you were injured and it was somebody else's fault, right? Of course, that's unfair,
Hmm.
right? So we agree on that. But surely you must
Right.
think I'm saying more than that, right?
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get at. What is unfair about you feeling that effect?
Well, what's unfair about you being in the car crash? Why is that unfair?
I said it felt unfair. That
Okay, so
doesn't
why
mean
then?
it.
Why did
Uh,
it feel unfair?
because I was suffering from someone else's bad decision. The girl who hit us
Yeah.
was texting and driving.
And you were
If she
driving
hadn't,
safely, right? You weren't like
and
swerving across the road or anything. You were just minding
nope,
your own business.
I was
Yeah.
in traffic. I was minding my own business, and I was matter of fact, I was the last car in the line.
Okay, so you didn't do anything. It's not like you were being reckless or it was,
Nope.
just bad luck or something. You just were
Right.
minding your own business, and then someone else was texting, and they basically hit a car that hit a car that hit you or whatever, right?
Right. There
And the
was
reason
like
it's
there was four.
unfair, the reason it's unfair is because you had a consequence that came out of it,
Hmm.
but it
I
wasn't
suffered a.
because of you doing something. Right? It's not like you were
Hmm.
taking drugs and accidentally had an overdose, and you might say, "Oh well, it was a consequence of their own kind of corrupted behavior or
Hmm.
something." You're just minding your own business, being a completely normal person, and yet a bad thing happens to you, right? And
Right.
that's why it's unfair. Okay, and that's exactly what I'm saying about having a corrupted nature, right? The moment I'm conceived, my soul enters the universe, or whatever you think happens. I'm
Hmm.
immediately given a sinful nature. And God is like the teacher with the fire extinguisher who could have just said, no, actually, let's just let him not have a sinful nature, right? No cause and effect is too strong for God to overcome. So he could have overcome it and just made it
Right.
that
He
we
did.
don't have that inheritance from Adam, but he didn't. And what I'm complaining about isn't that I've got a corrupted nature necessarily, but I'm saying the fact that I've got it and it's unfair means that the God that let it happen couldn't be perfect, right? Because if he was perfect, he wouldn't let this happen because he'd be like the teacher who just lets all the kids die in fire, and doesn't put them out, right? So that's my point.
Okay.
It's not cool to let me have a corrupted nature before I've even had the chance to do anything. But
So
that's what he does. He does that to everybody because he lets everybody have this
you
kind of
you
consequence of Adam's sin.
you have come to the realization, like I did in that instant, that car wreck, where I felt the consequences. Me being a Christian, the consequences of me being in that position go all the way back to Adam. Adam's sin made contact at that point because she made the girl that started the wreck made a bad decision. She decided to text and drive rather than being focused on driving. So I felt so when we talk about original sin, we're talking about the ongoing effect of a chain reaction car wreck that goes through history. It's like a rock being thrown in the middle of a still pond. It goes out and it has effects.
Okay, but look, the God could have prevented that from happening.
And
He could have let the
whether
pebble. Hold
that's
on, hold on, hold on. God could have just let the pebble go in the pond without there being any ripples, right?
I don't know, is that physically possible?
Is it possible for God?
Well, that's not quite.
Obviously, it's possible for God. He can do miracles and everything, right? Obviously, that's possible. There's no point even like humming and hawing about it. Obviously, he could do that, and he could also prevent us inheriting fallen natures because Adam ate from an apple. Like, obviously, he could do that. There's no logical contradiction in saying Adam sinned and I don't have a fallen nature. That's not a contradiction. So logic isn't preventing him, and there's no causal force he couldn't overcome. So he could have just meant that we don't inherit the sin. The only reason we do is because he let it happen. It's obviously part of his plan. It's what he wants to happen, in fact. Unless, God's omnipotent, so everything that happens is what he wants to happen. Right? So he wants me to have a fallen nature. But I didn't do anything to deserve that. It's not like I was sinful. I mean, what had I done before I was born?
nobody's claiming. And here's the thing: nobody's claiming that you do deserve it.
Well, God wants me to have it, right?
I would say no.
But why did he let it happen then? He's omnipotent and all knowing.